Salute, salute, salute. So what you're seeing right here is your typical gangbanger, right? What do gangbangers do? They bang on other gangs, right? Not just other gangs, they bang on innocent people, but the gangs they usually bang on are people that look like them, people with the same skin tone. You never see them banging on white sheets. It's just them against other groups of people that look like them. They poison their communities, right? They take each other out, right? And, they terrorize the neighborhoods they live in, right? That's what a gangbanger is, right? So, recently I saw, in Chicago and Philly, I seen videos and news clippings that just happened of Keisha's getting taken out by these gangbangers, right? Whether it's in a crossfire, I think one of them, the guy that she was with, was targeted, and they was in a car and they lit the car up, and the video's out there. It's horrifying, that video, right? The way they moved on that car. So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. When they talk about these situations, right? They never talk about things that the reason why these Keishas end up in these situations. The first thing they just go to, oh, these black males, it's always these black males, but they never talk about the Keisha's actions in this. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because you go on social media, right? And these gangbangers are posting these videos, posting these type of photos, right? This photo was posted in a group by Duke right here, right? This was his response. I want you to look at the response. Look, a Crip, I never had one of those, right? Look, she's ready. Look. What's the difficulty level? Look. They with it. They with it. You look like you run a strict program. Look. A black man working a 9 to 5 wouldn't have got this response. Look. Anything's possible, right? Because he has the Henny bottle in his hand, right? This is the response these pookies get from these Keishas. If anything was a red, if a picture was a red, this is what you call a red flag in a picture. This is the definition of seeing a picture and noticing the red flags. First of all, Duke is twisted. He's drunk. You could tell. He's drunk. The bottle's almost gone. And he has his blue rag right here, and he's just hanging wherever he's at. He looked like he's on demon time. And instead of looking at this and, saying, yeah, this ain't it. No, they're openly actively choosing these dudes. They're actively choosing these dudes, black men. That's what they do. They choose these dudes. And for all these dudes out there that be saying, oh, the reason why we talking about them is because they're getting more play. No. The average dude that's out there, he gets play also. Here's the difference, though. The type of play he gets, right? Here's the difference. He'll get the buns. The average 9 to 5 guy out there can get the buns. The problem is he won't get any loyalty from that Keisha. He won't get any cooperation from the Keisha. He won't get any of that, right? She'll cheat on him. She'll set him up. She'll do all type of things. Getting the buns have never been a problem for the average, regular, working man. Getting the buns from Keisha is nothing. You don't have to work hard to get the buns from Keisha. So that's not the issue here. Because they quick to say, oh, you're talking about them because you're not getting as much buns from them. Keisha buns? Keisha buns? All you have to do, like I said, is come outside, couple of fake Cuban chains, some J's on, and you in there like swimwear. That's all you have to do. And talk rat community. The rat community talk, oh, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Tiana Taylor, the regular rat community talking, you in there. It's nothing to get the buns. The difference is these pookies, right, will get more cooperation, more submission from them just off the fact that they're criminals. They're criminals. And the problem is, that's why I make a clear separation from us and them, is that when these pookies are out here doing this, when they're out here wreaking havoc on the communities, instead of them saying it's these guys, it's not the productive black men, they put black men and black males all into this group. Like we're down with that. Like we're a part of that. They never separate us. So we become part of that also. We have to deal with this image also. No matter if you say you're not a part of that, you're not with that, never been a part, they look at us as the same, because instead of Keisha saying, no, that's not all black men, that's not even a lot of them, that's just that sector, that's just that percentage, very small percentage that these Keishas all sleep with the same guys. No, it's black men and that's it. So when these Keishas are out there getting sent to the upper room, you can't just look at these pookies and say, oh, these pookies are doing this, these pookies are doing that. No, you got to look at these Keishas and say, well, those are the guys that you're choosing. You're choosing the gangbanger. You're choosing the gangbanger. You're choosing the gang member. And if you're choosing the gang member, things come with it. So if you get sent to the upper room, whose fault is it? When do she get held accountable for her own demise? You did this to yourself. You knew he was a gangbanger. And gangbangers have ops. You knew that. And then you still dated him. You knew that he was a criminal. You knew that he was out there doing things that he's not supposed to be doing, but it excited you until you got sent to the upper room, and now it's our problem? No, it's not our problem. That's a Keisha problem, because here's the other thing. He was raised by who? Keishas. Keisha raised these guys. These type of dudes that they be talking about, like they be pretending like they're against, but secretly be, getting taken on tizzy tours by them. They're the reason why these guys are like, these dudes, these males are like that. Because they raised them to be violent. They raised them like this. But I just wanted to show y'all that these are the same guys that they're chasing that's getting them sent to the upper room. This goofball, he's worse than the other guy. He's worse than the other one. Grazing your beard. He's clearly somewhere in his late 40s, early 50s. Who are you? Black Santa Crip? What's going on here? What are you doing, Duke? You're supposed to be out there. If you are a gang member and you get older, you're supposed to be out there telling the youngins that ain't the move. This is what they supposed to be doing. Once they get older, this is what they supposed to be doing. Hey, this ain't the move. I went here, I was here, I lost this, I ended up in jail, I ended up in prison, I ended up doing this. This ain't the move. No, because they don't grow up. Living in that rat community, they never grow up. They're perpetually stuck in their second childhood. But Keisha don't see that. She saw this. And what did Keisha say? Here we go. Bing. There you go. Look. Look at this. Look at this right here. This what they saw. Look, this is the response. Look at this. Look at this. I'm telling you, what they tried to tell us, black men, that when it comes to us saying this is who they choose, they try to say that was just a trope that we've been using for the longest to explain why we are not choosing them. You know, to explain why we're dating other races of women. We just using some made up, trope. No, that's what it is. It's not made up. We see this every day. We see, soon as we get online, that's the first thing we see. We'll see some bugged out gangbanger. We'll see some scammer. We'll see a drug dealer. We'll see people out here sending people to the upper room, and who you have, a bunch of Keishas chasing them. We'll see that, and we know that. And we've seen it in our personal lives. We saw it. So when we say that, we're not saying it just because we're just trying to abstain from you and we need to make up a reason. No. That's what you do, Keisha. You make up reasons why you a Brad worshiper. We're not making this up. I show this all the time with proof. With proof that they're chasing them. I'm not just saying it. I'm showing y'all proof, especially in the Patreon. Salute to the brothers in the Patreon. Proof from their own accounts, from their own words. This is who they want. And it has nothing to do, what I've been trying to tell you, black men, is it has nothing to do with what you look like. Has nothing to do with what you look like. I told y'all, yeah, they want they want a guy that's 6 feet tall, right? 6-pack, right? Yeah, they want him to be athletic. Oh, no. Only if you're a productive black man, they want that. If you're a pookie, you could be 5'5" and sloppy, dusty, dirty, as long as you are a criminal. As long as you're a criminal. If you are a criminal, that makes up for him being pudgy, him being short. That makes up for all that. Him being ashy. That makes up for all that. Him being a criminal makes up for all that, black men. So it's not your looks. It's your mentality. It's your mentality. You understand? It's not your looks. It's your mentality. You need to know that, black men. It has nothing to do with your looks. All about your mentality. If you're not a criminal, they're not going. If you're not a criminal, you don't turn on. That's what turns them on. They're constantly chasing these gangbangers. And you know what's the sick part about it? The sick part is that they have children. All of those Keishas you saw have children. Chasing after gangbangers. Putting their children in harm's way. Putting their children in harm's way. And got the nerve to talk about productive black men that have nothing to do with this, that do nothing to them. They got beef with productive black men because productive black men are starting to say there's requirements to get with them. They mad at productive black men for having standards. But they have no smoke for these gangbangers out here wreaking havoc on the communities that they live in, but got smoke with productive black men that say, you know what? They're not accepting big backs. They're not accepting, women with children. They're not accepting washed up women. They're not accepting washed up keys. They're not accepting any of that. They saying you got to bring this to the table. And they got more beef with productive black men who are just saying what it takes for them to provide, what it takes for them to protect, what it takes for them, and what it takes for them to get one of those guys. They just saying that what it takes to get, in order to get me, here is what you need to do. That's all they saying. It's just words that they're saying. It's just words. They mad at words, but they're not mad at the actions that are being taken when it comes to these pookies in their neighborhoods. But they're mad at words from productive men online that they never met. Never met. And they're actively choosing these guys. You don't see Becky as a collective choosing this. As a collective, you don't see that. Maria as a collective, you don't see that. As a collective, you don't see that. They're going after the tradesman. They're going after the guy that works in a garbage, works at a garbage truck. They're going after the guy that's the electrician. They're going after the guy that's the construction worker. They're going after the plumber. They're going after the carpenters. They're going after the bus drivers. They're going after the FedEx man. They're going after the United States postal worker. They're going after those guys. Keisha's is going after criminals. Criminals. Gangbangers. So when you see them get sent to the upper room, you have to keep that in mind, that this is what they chose. And eventually that was going to be the outcome. That was going to be the outcome. Instead of thinking they was going to ride off into the sunset into Pookie land, no, there's a shelf life with these gangsters and criminals, and there's a shelf life. Sooner or later, they get sent to jail or they meet their demise. And if they meet their demise while they with you, most likely she's going to meet her demise also, just by being associated with him. And that is not our problem. Not our fault, not our problem. Leave us out of it.